Hello and welcome to this Breathe Link video tutorial, a step-by-step guide on how to perform a strength index test using the Breathe Link software. From the home page, navigate to the test screen by clicking on the Test tab. The test screen is an interactive environment that captures live data to quickly assess your breathing muscles. There are two types of tests that you can perform. These can be selected via the Strength Index button or the Peak Inspiratory Flow button, later referred to as PIF. In this tutorial, we'd like to perform a Strength Index test. This will assess the maximum strength that your breathing muscles can generate. The calculation of Strength Index is based upon a typical inspiratory muscle force-velocity relationship. In the center of the screen is a graphical view of your test session. Data is sent from the PowerBreathe unit to the BreatheLink software at a rate of 4,000 times a second and plotted in real time. Graphical markers are also displayed to help you maximize your test effort. The red line represents your personal best score you have ever recorded. Your goal is to equal or better this value. Depending upon your preference, this can be switched on or off using the personal best switch. Please note, only when you have recorded a personal best score will you see the red line being displayed. The black line represents your session best score that you have achieved for the current session. This can be switched on or off via the session best switch at the bottom of the screen. The grey shaded band on the graph represents your predicted normal range. This is based upon predicted normal values of inspiratory muscle strength for an individual of your age, height, weight and gender. Please note the predicted normal value band may not be visible until you have completed a breath. Finally, you have the ability to overlay multiple plots on the graph. This can be switched on or off via the overlay switch at the bottom on the test screen. On top of the screen is your information window that provides a visual snapshot of your current training session. The small collection of bars provide visual clues as to how many breaths you have successfully completed in the current session. This is the breath counter, which indicates how many breaths have been taken. In all test modes, whether it is Strength Index or PIF, the number of breaths that can be performed is 30. This indicates the load or the weight that you are lifting. In all test modes, whether it is PIF or Strength Index, the load is set at a default value of 3 centimeters of water. Therefore, you will find performing an inspiratory muscle test very easy. You'll notice the load adjusters are disabled when in test mode, but can be adjusted when in training mode. Next to the information window is the Start and Stop button. To begin a test session, click on the Start button and you will notice two things. Firstly, the PowerBreathe unit will calibrate the valve by moving it backwards and forwards and ending at the fully closed position. This indicates the beginning of a test session. Secondly, the Start button will also change state to a Stop button. Okay, so let's begin a test. Firstly, click on the Start button. You may notice that the graph area will clear all previous data and reset the information window. Notice the sound of the PowerBreathe unit calibrating the valve and the Start button changing to a Stop button. You are now ready to assess the strength of your breathing muscles. Breathe out as far as you can, then take a fast, forceful breath in through the mouthpiece. Take in as much air as you can, as quickly as you can, straightening your back and expanding your chest as you inhale. As you can see, the graph area comes alive with data being captured from your breath. Notice the graphical markers on the graph giving you instant feedback. Okay, we'll perform one more breath. Breathe out as far as you can, then take a fast, forceful breath in through the mouthpiece. Take in as much air as you can, as quickly as you can, straightening your back and expanding your chest as you inhale. Currently, you can see two linear plots on the graph. If you wish, you can show individual plots by switching the overlay option on or off. So, we've completed 2 breaths and we now wish to end the session. Click on the stop button. You will be asked to save the current session. Click yes. You will then be asked to provide feedback on how the session felt. The Power Breathe unit will move the valve to the fully open position and the stop button changes state to become a start button. Congratulations! You've successfully performed a strength index test. Ideally, you should test your breathing muscles every 2 weeks to assess the effectiveness of your training. Over time, if you have followed your Power Breathe training, you will see improvements in your breathing muscles, both visually using the BreatheLink software and physically. This concludes this video tutorial. For further information, please consult your BreatheLink manual. Alternatively, visit powerbreathe.com to learn more about the benefits of IMT training. Thank you.
My name is Ben Barwick and I work for a running coaching company called Full Potential, and I also write reviews for our review website runningsupplement.co.uk. I've been using the Power Breathe to supplement my running training. I train for all distances ranging from 5k, which are rather enjoyable, through to the marathon, which is a little bit more of a slog. I've been using the K5 and I really think it's a fantastic tool and I can't recommend it enough. The first few months of my training involved me taking 30 breaths with the Power Breathe device twice a day. It was slightly difficult to get into the routine of using it, but having the software on my computer meant that I could visually see what I was doing and how each breath was working, and this was a fantastic motivational tool for me. I was able to instantly compare sessions, and this was really, really good. I definitely felt my respiratory system getting a bit stronger. I recall during one hill session I was really able to push on because the training gave me the confidence to work that little bit harder. After a few months of training, I started to use my Power Breathe device after I'd done a running session, and that would add in that little bit extra element of fatigue, and to begin with it was a lot tougher, but I really feel that this sort of training has benefited my running immensely. I'm a big fan of the warm-up feature that's included with the K5, and this has become part of my pre-race routine. It definitely helps calm my nerves in the morning and engages the respiratory system for the job in hand. I've now started using the K5 and Power Breathe training whilst I'm doing a core workout. It's really difficult to use the K5 whilst in the plank position, but I definitely think this has added another element to my training. It's made my core routines a lot more fun and interesting. I do suffer from mild exercise-induced asthma, and I definitely feel that after having used the K5 for the last few months, it's got under control most of that wheezing and reduced the likelihood of me having any sort of chest tightness, and this is a real positive for me. Having used the K5 properly now for around about 6 months, I can't recommend the system enough. It's definitely made me feel stronger and given me more confidence in my breathing and able to push myself that little bit harder during a session. Even if it only provides an extra 1%, that's a 1% that a number of other athletes out there aren't exploiting, and it works for me, so I couldn't be happier. I'd never really thought about my breathing until I started using the K5, and now it's just another element in my training that I try to work on to make me a better runner. Thanks for listening, and keep breathing.